All right, welcome to another one. Today we're going to talk about flakes, about why girls might agree to a date with you, but then never show up. And I'm going to give you 3 steps to mitigate that, to make sure that your flake rate goes down so that the chances of you meeting a girl and creating that connection past the first time that you saw her to actually go on a first date skyrocket. Okay. My name is Alex. I'm a dating coach. I help guys with exactly that. Let's get into it. So, first of all, what is a flake? A flake is when a girl simply doesn't show up. Maybe she ghosts you and she never even tells you she doesn't show up and she just stands you up, which really fucking sucks. Or maybe she texts you a couple hours before the date, or maybe the previous day if you're very lucky. And that can be incredibly frustrating, especially if you're kind of a beginner and you go out like a lot, you're putting yourself out there, you're exerting a lot of energy into creating new connections and opening and approaching girls and overcoming your fear of approaching girls and your social anxiety. And you've put yourself out there a bunch, and then like 7 out of 10 girls magically get deathly ill 3 hours before the date. So that can be incredibly frustrating. Why does this happen? Because a girl's reality is a little bit different. She doesn't face as many consequences if she goes with her emotion as opposed to her logic and her commitment. So like she makes a commitment to go on a date with you because at the time where you asked her, it was the easier thing to say yes. It was easier to not confront you and go like, sorry bro, I don't like you. Or yeah, like, I'm probably going to have different things to do in the future. And she might even have felt like it in the moment. She might even have gone, okay, cool. Sounds like a good idea. But then later, life gets in the way and the commitment is already 3 days old. And she's like, okay, I don't really know that guy. I'm not going to go on the date. So she makes up a reason and she never goes on the date, and because she is 21 and beautiful, nothing really happens to her and she can keep doing that over and over again. The result is that you're going to get really frustrated. So how are we going to change that? How are we going to make sure that this doesn't happen? The first thing I want you to do is to front load. There's 3 steps. Okay, so the first thing I want you to do is to front load the relationship and the interaction with value. That means that I want you to behave in a way that's very masculine because I want you to create polarity. I want you to communicate to her in a way where she gets wet, basically. That means dominance. So what are we going to do? How are we going to create this masculine polarity? We're going to make sure that our posture and body language is calm and easygoing, but also straight, physically straight, and very direct. Okay. That means mind your eye contact, mind your posture, be direct in the way that you communicate, don't beat around the bush. And of course, that's easier said than done. Then that takes a long time to cultivate and to train, and it takes a lot of inner game changes to be okay with who you are so that you can present yourself in a way that is fucking debatable, undoubtable, like that is unquestionable, that you can look a girl in the eye and mean what you say. That is not an easy thing to do. That takes a lot of inner game transformation, especially from the point where you're getting a lot of flakes. That is evidence that you're not communicating the right way. So what does this really mean? That means that when you tend to aggregate that result, it didn't happen once, but it keeps happening, girls keep flaking on you, it means that they don't really like you. They might not really like you. They might, in the moment, just want to get rid of you by saying yes to you. But really, there's no polarity there. There's no real attraction there. The girl is not attracted to you as you are attracted to her. You're attracted to her because you see features that you like. You see femininity, you see boobs, you see a pretty face. But the thing that the girl needs to see to be attracted to you equally was just not there. And what that is attributes like leadership, masculinity, like I said before, dominance, and also things like pre-selection, seeing that other girls like you and stuff like that. So that's the first thing that I need you to do. And that's more of a longer time project, okay? But make sure that you front load the interaction with value, that even if you can't suggest the value implicitly by your demeanor and behavior, you can invite her to something that is cool, something that is very social, like something that maybe is a scarce resource, something where entry and admittance is curtailed, something where you have access to, but not a lot of people do. That's the first thing that's going to increase or decrease your flake rate, increase your show rate. Make sure that the girl feels that this is an opportunity. From the girl's perspective, it's like 3 days later, it's time to go to the thing that she agreed to with the guy. And now it's time to really, really assess it because it becomes real. And now it's like, is the guy valuable? Like, did I feel like when he was talking to me, he was like piercing with his gaze? He was looking right into my soul. And like, I got wet when I was listening to him? Or is the thing that he is inviting me to like a good opportunity? So like, is the guy a good opportunity or is the thing a good opportunity? Okay, so she must say yes to either of these two, to one, at least one of these two. That's one thing. The second thing that's gonna reduce your flake rate is boundaries. Making sure, and this is also a longer term thing, and this is gonna create a way of thinking for you. So boundaries is not something that will reduce one single flake when you do it, but the more you accumulate evidence of you, yourself, performing that behavior, having boundaries, the more this is going to feedback or to give your brain the signal and the feedback that you're that type of guy, and that's going to help with your communication overall. What does it mean? That means that if a girl tells you, oh, I can't make it XYZ date, like as we previously agreed, and she doesn't give you an alternative, that means that this girl is not interested in you. So from that point on, it is fair that you also say, cool, see you later, and like also never text her again. The point is what here? Why am I saying this? Because a lot of guys, you probably included, I don't want to fucking make assumptions, but whatever. Maybe you are. If you are, just write down in the comments below. If you are, just let me know. Like, just admit it in the comments. Give me some engagement. Okay. What happens is when you get the answer, you jump the gun and you're very good-willed and say, oh, cool, then when can you make it? Or how about the other date? Like, how about 3 days later? And you see that the girl, if she was interested in you, she would have gone, yeah, today I am actually sick. I am suffering. I am throwing up, but I can make it in 2 days from now. Or something came up today, I have XYZ problem, but on Thursday, I will be free and we can actually make it, and I give you my word. This is behavior that indicates that she's actually down for it, and it doesn't erode your self-esteem every time that she rejects you in that way. Does that make sense? So again, if she cancels plans with you but makes a suggestion for like an alternate date, good, she stays in the game. If she doesn't, she's out. Like, everyone gets one strike and that's it. So what happens with that in aggregate is that the more you stop begging girls for a second chance, the more you're going to give your brain evidence that you are higher value. And because of that feedback, your brain is going to allow you to behave different every time you communicate with a girl. Because now you've got like 10 times under your belt where a girl couldn't see you. Good. I am okay. The value is with me. Which is where it all stems, by the way. The reason why you would insist if a girl canceled on you but didn't give you an alternative is because you feel that the value is with her and you're chasing after that value. So when we reverse the dynamic and start giving ourselves evidence that the value is with us, slowly we start adding to the first step, to front loading the interaction with value, inherent value, not even the venues or the events value, but your own personal value. Okay, so the more you do that, the more you have boundaries, which is one of the major attraction triggers, by the way, the more valuable you're going to be. Okay, so all of this is like a long-term project. But the third step is something that you can implement today. And this is fairly easy, and it's the type of meeting. It's smart to meet girls in parks. It's better to park meeting girls. No, just kidding. What I'm trying to say is it's smart to go on a date with a girl, but it's smarter to pull all your girls and go on like a dinner. Because then it's kind of like a high value, higher class event. The girl doesn't need to invest a lot of time. The girl can eject if she doesn't feel comfortable. So the apprehension drops in her mind. So when it comes time to decide, oh, will I go to meet him or not? It's not as important. Like, it's not a one-on-one with you where she needs to invest the time, be captured for like 2 hours or whatever. And it's not as high stakes. So if she can be with you in a group setting with other girls where she doesn't monopolize your attention and she's not even sure if she's the one that you like, so she has a little bit of, competition, then the roles reverse and it's a little easier for her to show up because she knows she can go in 20 minutes if she doesn't like it, and she might meet cool people that socially she can have some kind of benefit from. So with all that said, if you like this video, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. I hope you learned something, and I'll talk to you later. Yeah, reduce your flakes. Okay, bye.